y'all. Welcome to the first ever episode of Gadfly.
Yay!
A podcast about third parties, fringe candidates, and oft-forgotten election shenanigans. Just the weird American history that I obsess over way too much. I'm Dusty Wilson.
I'm Una O'Leary.
And welcome. Eventually we'll find our groove and how this goes, and y'all bastards are kind of stuck listening to the awkward first of this, but thank you for joining us.
Eventually you won't hear me put all of my consonants through my nose.
Are you much of a multitasker, would you say?
No, I'm not.
No, multitasking's a goddamn myth. Except for one person. The modern fringe candidate who's my best boy. I love him more than anything. He's still making news, which makes him so exciting to talk about. This is a man by the name of Roque de la Fuente, or as he prefers to be called, Rocky. So one thing you find out with a lot of these modern third-party and frequent candidates is there tends to not be a lot of information about their formative years. And, you know, since the bulk of Rocky's childhood isn't really available to the public, our next best window into his life is through the lens of his father, Roque de la Fuente Sr.
Oh, so we're learning about Rocky de la Fuente Jr.
Yes.
Rocky de la Fuente Dos.
Yes, correct. So Roque Sr. was born in Veracruz, Mexico, and he was the son of an import-export businessman.
Oh, that's a good sign.
I know, it's a really good start in life. When the elder Roque was college age, he entered into med school, but he eventually dropped out to follow his dream, to be a car salesman.
Ooh.
I mean, you gotta have your dream, and sometimes, I get it, I don't want to be around blood or cutting up people.
That's fair. What year is this?
This is around the 50s-ish.
Okay, so cars were like...
Yeah.
Amazing rockets.
Yeah, this was the time where
own.
cars were just like flaming death machines of metal and no seatbelts.
And also just gorgeous design. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Beautiful items.
Yeah,
All right.
It was
okay,
genuinely
board,
like kind
Rocky.
of a hot time to be a car salesman.
Yeah.
And so in his first foray into the industry, Roque purchased... He would go across the border into San Diego, and he'd go to surplus U.S. Navy government auctions, and he would buy trucks there for $25 a piece, drive them back across the border, and sell them in Tijuana for $50. Before long, he had enough cash to purchase his first dealerships, one that sold Volkswagens, and another that sold Porsches. While that'd be more than enough to establish a local empire, Roque Sr. wasn't satisfied. So, using his dealership funds from selling Porsches and Volkswagens, he went into the most sensible industry he possibly could, and he built a pontoon toll bridge.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he got a bunch of pontoons floating on the water and used them to make a bridge across a local river.
From Mexico into the U.S.?
No, just in Mexico. From one part of Mexico to another part of Mexico on the other side of the river.
Okay.
So the crazy thing about this, it was built across the Colorado River.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing about this is he was able to sign a 5-year contract with the Mexican government to use the bridge. Roque was able to get $3,000 a day in profit from this deal.
What?
And at the end of it, he had made $5.5 million.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, say
in, like,
what you
1950s dollars?
Yeah.
Ah!
In like old-timey 1950s money. So that's like $8 billion. It's a ludicrous amount of money. So in a short time, Roque Sr. had created his own familial riches to even more personal riches story. But things were about to take a sudden turn. So in 1964, Mexico banned auto imports, completely fucking Roque Sr.'s non-pontoon-based businesses. So not to be deterred, Roque Sr. grabbed his family, along with the then 10-year-old Rocky Jr., and moved north to San Diego. And it was there he opened new franchises for his Volkswagens and Porsches, and also expanded into the American equivalent of those, Dodge and Cadillac. This is about the time we start to really learn a bit about Rocky. So Rocky's settling into life in America. So prior to this, Rocky had been raised in Mexico City, Tijuana, and after moving to San Diego, he'd lived there for a bit and a little bit in Anaheim. During that time, he was educated in the teachings of the Legionnaires of Christ, the Marist Brothers, the Carmelite Sisters of the Most Sacred Heart, Daughters of the Holy Spirit, the Jesuits, and as he calls it, a bit of homeschooling to top it all off.
Pick a lane.
I'm studying every religious school and trying out every Catholic school I could possibly go to. There's not just one, we're doing them all. Eventually, he would study at St. Catherine's Military Academy, where students as young as 3rd grade begin training in military drills, because that shit's just fucking precious.
Yeah, I don't know. That's where you get sent if, like, you're a bit of a hellion.
Nah, this is like rich people military school. Very different. Like, hellions, go to that, beat them every day military school. This is just like, nah, just have them march around for a while. Show it off to the visiting senator. It'll be great.
This is like, why would we ever have him at home when there's a boarding school available?
Exactly, yeah.
School?
And it's like, I don't know why he went to so many different schools. I don't know if it was a thing where they're just like, maybe this school isn't just for you.
And he definitely didn't get kicked out of every school?
Not that I could tell.
Oh,
It's as Rocky describes his childhood, it sounds more like, hippy-dippy's not the best way to put it, but it's definitely a sort of like, I'd try this out, then I tried this out, and then we did homeschooling for a bit, and then I went to military school.
Yeah, I feel like there's some reading between the lines that can happen.
I mean, potentially.
That or a family that really embraced Vatican II.
Yeah. Man, oh yeah, and supposedly St. Catherine's Military Academy also has quite the kick-ass music program. So at least that's what they're known. That's what they're known for nowadays. Teach kids to fight, give them an oboe.
Yeah.
I mean, the most dangerous weapon. So following graduation, Rocky went to the world-renowned National Autonomous University of Mexico, where he goddamn double majored in physics and math.
I have no... What?
Yeah, I mean, granted, physics is the math of science, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But as a fallback option, he also studied accounting and business administration at the nearby Anahuac University. So Rocky's definitely not a dumb guy. He's, doing really well at one of the highest considered universities in Mexico. He's double majoring. He's getting minors all over the place. He's doing pretty damn well. So Rocky returned to America after making all of our undergrad experiences look like the adventures of complete dipshits and immediately dove into the car industry. So between 1976 and 1990, Rocky created 28 car franchises and expanded the family portfolio to such cars as Alfa Romeo, AMC, Audi, Chrysler, Daihatsu, GMC, and Honda. And by the time he was 28, he was the president of the National Council of U.S. Distributors of the third largest auto producer in the world. It's ludicrous how quickly he succeeded. Yeah, I know, it's... It really sucks to look back at some of this stuff, and it's just, we can kind of make fun of Rocky eventually, but...
Yeah, I'm waiting for the eventually.
Oh, it's gonna be really funny when that never happens. It's just... And then he did great forever. But much like his father, that's not enough for Rocky. He can't just sell cars. He's gotta expand out. And
Pontoons.
He's gotta get in that American pontoon industry. He wanted more than a fortune built on car sales, so he did what any normal entrepreneur did, and he bought a bank. Something I actually didn't know you could do. I just always figured there's been banks, and maybe you can get a Chase franchise. I didn't know that you could just buy a bank and it's yours.
I mean, I guess, well, it's J.P. Morgan and Chase. Those are two guys,
yeah.
right?
So J.P. Morgan and the man formerly known as Chase.
Chase.
Yeah, goddamn. That's why I hate that bank so much.
And they kept stealing my money.
I mean, that's true. I mean, I did put most of my money there in Chad's, so I'm going to cut that joke. Gonna banish that like it never happened.
It'd be great when we pick up here and we're just like, anyway.
It's good to know that's the low point.
The only way is up.
Yeah. But yeah, so dude bought a bank. So the bank he picked was the People's Bank of Chula Vista. It was founded in 1980 and was one of the few independent banks in the country at the time. The bank had started with a decent level of success, but things turned bleak about 6 years later. So in 1986, the bank had lost $250,000, and as it was for so many other banks in the 80s during the Lend-Lease crisis, things weren't looking good.
Yeah. Wait, are we in the U.S. or are we in Mexico?
We're in America.
Okay.
We are in Chula Vista, California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here on out, nothing but America.
Got it.
So he invested a touch over $1 million, gained a 47% stake in the bank, and rebranded the whole shebang as the First International Bank. So in one fell swoop, Rocky saved the whole thing from financial ruin. Or so it would seem.
Oh no.
This is where it takes a turn. This is where Rocky Sr. and Rocky Jr., where their moral paths diverge.
Oh no, this is the midpoint.
Yeah, this is I mean, we're 2 pages in, not even.
Oh no. But oh yes.
So Rocky didn't seem to view owning a bank as a long-term plan. Instead, he got family members to purchase 20% of the bank stock, making him the de facto controller. He then proceeded to quietly approve a fuck ton of loans for his businesses and businesses he didn't publicly claim as his own, but absolutely were. At the moment, Roque Sr. was busy doing what would end up making the De La Fuentes their biggest fortune. In the 60s, Roque Sr. had started dipping his toe into real estate. And essentially what he would do is he would go find land that was just barren and empty. Stuff selling for like pennies and dollars and just buy it up. Yeah. And so sometimes he would build dealerships on them. Other times he'd just wait for the value to appreciate and sell it. So the family's big break came in 1974 when Roque Sr. and Roque Jr. put their cash together and bought 133 acres in Otay Mesa, which is a stretch of land between San Diego and the Mexican border. So 3 years later, they upped their land rights on the mesa and buy about another 4,000 acres. For the longest time, nothing happened. It just sat there completely empty. That is until the city of San Diego got involved. In 1986, San Diego and the De La Fuente family entered into a development agreement. The De La Fuentes wanted to build a business park along the border. The general idea of what they wanted to do is they would build properties and buildings on the land. Businesses would come by and rent those buildings so they didn't have to build their own space. It just so happened that the land they wished to build on had recently been annexed by the city and dubbed the Otay Mesa Community Plan. So the city and the De La Fuentes entered into agreement. The De La Fuentes could build their business park, and the city would agree to essentially a non-compete clause. So the city would not influence the building of anything else in that area, and the De La Fuentes would be able to build whatever they wanted based on the laws of the land before the city of San Diego owned it.
So it's just a sweetheart deal?
Essentially, yeah.
Oh, San Diego is just kind of like, you know what? Fine. You homestead this.
Essentially, yeah. Build this out for it. It's literally a patch of fucking desert. There is nothing here. Just do what you will. So the De La Fuentes agreed, and as future court documents would say, the city then went on to breach nearly every term of the agreement.
Oh, damn.
The city immediately placed a moratorium on residential building on the land, utterly fucking the De La Fuentes out of their own property. The whole reason San Diego was doing this is that they wanted to build a joint airport that would be shared between America and Mexico. And so just like either of them could use it, it'd kind of just be like co-owned land. The hilarious bit, though, is that the city never asked Mexico if they wanted it in the first place. It didn't ask until 1993. To which Mexico said, no, fuck that.
We good.
Why? I mean, literally, why would you want an airport that you would need a passport to get into the country to then go to?
Oh, God.
It's just a complete waste of time. It's not like Tijuana doesn't have their own airport.
Tijuana has its own airport?
Yeah, Tijuana has an airport. San Diego has an airport. Why do you need an airport between the two?
Oh, because someone was about to make money, and it wasn't the De La Fuentes.
No, it wasn't. The De La Fuentes got fucked, and they were about to be more fucked. In 1987, San Diego got in their mind they wanted a brand new jail, and the De La Fuentes land looks like the perfect fit. So they got themselves a fuck ton of eminent domain, and they condemned 500 acres of the De La Fuentes land.
San Diego's a cold-ass bitch.
I don't know what was in San Diego's mind at the time, but it was just like, it's two dudes. They're calling themselves Rocky. We can fucking beat these guys any day. So meanwhile, Rocky's little self-lending bank scheme had kind of caught the ears of the Federal Deposit Insurance Commission, or more commonly known, the FDIC. The people in charge of the money.
Oh, no.
So most people know them as the government department that guarantees people's money in the event of a bank failure, but they also handle regulation of banking in general. So when the FDIC looked into the many loans that Roque had made to himself, they found the following. A loan of $1 million to the Roque de la Fuente Alexander Trust, a loan of $1 million to Rancho de la Fuente International Industrial Park, which was what they built between San Diego and Mexico. But the industrial park was owned by Roque's mother, who was happening to be living in Mexico City at the time and not really running any of the businesses. There was also a series of loans totaling $2.8 million to Rancho Vista Del Mar Incorporated, another company owned by Rocky's mom. A personal loan of $800,000 made to Roque himself. A loan of $750,000 to National Enterprises Incorporated, a company solely owned by Roque and entrusted to his children. a loan of $200,000 to CT Produce, a company entered into a joint venture with National Enterprises, the company solely owned by Rocky and entrusted to his children. And the best one, a series of loans that totaled $3.7 million to the Fine Particle Technology Corporation, a company owned by Rocky and mostly owned by his associates, but it also happened to have no employees. So from 1990 to 1995, Roque de la Fuente had loaned himself and his associates $10.25 million.
Rocky, you're not even trying.
I know! That's the worst part of this! It's like, you are a tiny bank in the middle of nowhere, Chula Vista. People are gonna know. And just to make things a little extra fucky, Rocky's bank approved insufficient collateral for some of the loans and put the responsibility of a few other loans in the name of an employee who didn't have a high enough credit rating to get that kind of stupid, crazy-ass loan.
Oh, no!
It's...
They loaned it to me!
Yeah. So in 1998, the FDIC formally charged Roque de la Fuente and recommended a lifetime ban from the entire banking industry. Rocky chose to represent himself.
Oh, no.
Decision that's never gone wrong. An administrative law judge agreed with the FDIC, but Rocky Jr. appealed the decision. The case was taken to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and in 2003, the Ninth Circuit remanded the case, agreeing with some of what the FDIC had charged Rocky, and were against a few of the others, but it stated, "We also cannot help but note that De La Fuente's use of First International Bank as his personal piggy bank was in shocking disregard of sound banking practices and the law to the detriment of depositors, shareholders, and the public. There is literally nothing more I love than judicial shade.
Oh, it's the best.
It's usually just so bland. It's just like, here's the findings. I was bored. I wrote this up. When a judge actually goes all in and says, you have fucked up and I am going to tell you how you fucked up, it's so beautiful. I love it so much. So in the end, Roque de la Fuente was banned from banking for life. The First International rebranded as San Diego Community Bank, and Rocky's career in banking was done. But as bad as all that was, all was not lost. After about 20 years of legal battles between the Rockies and the city of San Diego over the land on Otay Mesa, the courts found in favor of the De La Fuentes.
Hey!
They were awarded from 3 different court cases that had been going on about the land, and they found themselves ridiculously richer. About $121 million richer.
Oh, Lord. I mean, San Diego screwed up, but
I know, right? I don't even think that's in a normal city budget for that much money.
No, it's not.
It's a ludicrous amount. Rocky could not have gotten away with... He couldn't get away with loaning himself 10% of that, and in the end still came out on top.
Right, that's the frustrating thing. It's like, so whatever he lost by being an idiot bank-wise, he more than made up for with San Diego being an idiot.
Exactly. In the Battle of Idiots, San Diego won horribly.
I feel like I've read a number of articles about San Diego's, like, going broke.
I'd believe it. After this, I would not be shocked if this is what led it.
It was just a twist of the knife.
So now we get to the part about Rocky that I love the most.
Right, because at no point is he becoming political.
No, not even a hint of it. So, yeah, him getting into politics was kind of a bit out of left field. He never ran as a local or a statewide candidate, but at the age of 61, he chose to run for the 2016 Democratic presidential nomination. Tactically, it really wasn't the worst of ideas, and most of the Democratic field at the time had 6 what could be considered serious candidates. You had Senator Jim Webb from Virginia, who had gone from being a Republican to a Democrat, sort of, but if you got him mad enough, he'd say some Republican stuff, and he was really only in one debate. It was an interesting showing. Harvard law professor Lawrence Lessig, who was running as a protest candidate.
I don't remember any of this.
Oh, no, he was in the race for maybe like 4 weeks. Governor Lincoln Chafee of Rhode Island, who is... If a governor was Old Gil from The Simpsons, it would probably be Lincoln Chafee. He just tries so hard. He really wants America to adapt the metric system so bad. He's a nice enough guy, but he's never going to be president. Governor Martin O'Malley of Maryland, Senator Bernard Sanders of Vermont,
Indeed.
And a little-known candidate by the name of Hillary Rodham Clinton. So, by the time the primaries had rolled around, Webb, Chafee, and Lessig had all dropped out. And Martin O'Malley was just one bad showing in Iowa away from doing the same. His numbers were incredibly terrible at the time. So really all Rocky had to do was find a way to stand out between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. So you have to pick a lane between relatively centrist Clinton and hard-left Bernie. So Rocky decided he would position himself further right of Clinton. Just the thing Democrats wanted at the time. Rocky described himself as a Kennedy Democrat to Wikinews during an interview.
Take great offense at this.
He defined a Kennedy Democrat as someone who's an advocate for social equality and freedom, who believes in fiscal responsibility. So, an 80s Republican.
Yeah.
That's
this
all.
Isn't Ted Kennedy.
Yeah. That also wouldn't be the only time he would subtly compare himself to John F. Kennedy.
Brilliant.
When asked why he was running, on multiple occasions, Rocky would state, "If we had a John Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, Martin Luther King, or anybody of that stature, I would have stayed home."
Okay, of those three names, one is not like the other. Sure, they have all been shot at.
Oh my god, you're right. Yep. So one of the more unique promises that Rocky had made was not to cash a single paycheck as president until he accomplished 4 things. 1, generate 1 million new jobs. 2, sign off on a logical, smart, and comprehensive immigration plan that recognizes that a wall will never be the solution. 3, reduce the number of homeless citizens by half. And 4, create 100 new city parks. Because you know what presidents do. They build parks.
I'm sorry.
It's what Teddy Roosevelt did. He'd go out into the wilderness, he'd plant a tree, he'd put up a jungle gym. It'd be great. He'd shoot a moose.
And done.
And done. Parks district made.
Oh, okay. I mean, a couple of those were like, all right, I'm listening. But also, the whole, like, I will not take a paycheck until, it's like, for those listening at home, I am making the wanking gesture. Can't see it.
Rocky's willing to make that sacrifice.
Oh.
He's a simple 100 millionaire with many cars and a bank he's not allowed in.
The house never loses unless Rocky's in charge.
So, Rocky supported eliminating all income tax for low-income families, taxes on small businesses, and all inheritance taxes, which is a big Republican talking point.
Again, this guy is just consistently like 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Which is what I love about him so much. Like, there's not quite enough about him that I just want to completely write him off. And there's enough he does where it's just like, just keep going.
No, okay.
No, and we're back. Rocky,
back.
all right, stay away from the bank. In less good stances to have her a Democrat, he supported the Keystone XL pipeline as well as fracking. He described those as being short-term energy solutions and stressed alternative energy is important, but still, not really a good position to take if you're a Democrat at the time.
No, and also maybe stay, short term. They are short term, very short term.
Yeah, oil's
in
here
so
forever.
many ways.
Oil's always going to be here.
No.
All you got to do is take the pour, put them in a press, and just squeeze them for a while, and then you got oil. Aside from those topics, his clear admiration of President Reagan, his stances were about as stock standard as any Democrat. Sort of.
Sort of.
I mean, he said just enough Democratic stuff for it to be okay. By January 2016, the Hillary versus Bernie dichotomy was in full force, and O'Malley's poor polling heading into Iowa showed that Democrats really weren't interested in breaking away from this battle for the party. Undeterred, Rocky emblazoned 4 touring buses with his name and hauled his ass to Iowa, hoping that he could build up enough grassroots support for his movement to succeed. So I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named Dave Barry.
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
He's a Florida columnist, mostly known as a humorist, which I think is it's a really nice way of saying that his comedy's in a newspaper, and every time you laugh, you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's smooth.
It's
smooth jazz.
Yeah, it's that smooth New Yorker cartoon comedy.
It's nice.
Only since it's Florida, it's like a little more blue.
Yeah.
It's like if the New Yorker had dick jokes occasionally.
It's a great beach read.
He's a genuinely nice dude who I get the impression cares about what's going on in the world. So Dave Barry was in Des Moines, covering the caucuses, and he had been at a Marco Rubio event because it was in my hotel and it was in a bar. The only 2 reasons to ever see Marco Rubio. Following the speech, Dave Barry went outside to get his car, and he found it blocked by a big-ass bus that just said Rocky on the side.
Amazing.
Dave Barry went to the driver of the bus, looked in, and asked him if he could move it, and more importantly, who's Rocky? De La Fuente enthusiastically introduced himself, along with the title of Next President of the United States. Which, it's always so corny whenever I hear people say that, even at the Democratic Convention, when they decide to do that, it's like, guys, please stop. We don't... Being a Democrat's like being a Browns fan. You can't assume victory at any point. So anytime someone says that out loud, it's like you're trying to punch God.
I agree. And it's like, even when I'm watching the primary debates and they're all like, when I'm president, even if they're like, when I am the next presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, I'm just like, why are you cursing it?
Corey, I love you. I love you. Stop it. Please stop it,
like,
sir.
And I was just like, what I would give for an ounce of that kind of confidence.
Yeah.
Like, if they could just, like, squeeze a little bit of that and sell it.
Oh my god, I'd drink it every day. That'd be a great coffee supplement.
It would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Well, and just the general idea, like, to have the humility to be like, if I get to do this, if you let me do this, instead of just being like, I am taking this, it is mine.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna wait.
Right.
I'm Roque de la Fuente, the next president of America.
Right, whereas it's like, I will apologize if you sit on, like, I'm sorry, you're in my way.
It's essentially like me being like, oh, I've blocked you in. Sorry about that. I am Dusty Wilson, Guardian of the Moon. He ends up gifting Dave Barry a campaign t-shirt, complete with a signature, 4 hand-drawn smiley faces that are not symmetrical in drawing or where they're placed on the shirt.
And why, to begin with.
And a bit of numerology based on Dave Barry's birthday.
Rocky's into numerology.
A little bit. I don't know if it's full Kabbalah numerology, but the man likes some numbers and he knows how to use them. I mean, not with banking. He's not allowed to do that. But anything other than banking, he'll do your numbers.
We're talking about someone with a background in math.
Yeah,
and physics.
Math and physics, where they teach you numerology.
You know what? If I combine the numbers of your birthday stupidly, I get this single number, and that means you're confident, but you hold your cards close to the chest.
Oh, man, that's only me. I mean, if there's one thing this podcast will definitely do for you, it will completely remove any magic that someone's degree has. So sadly, this was Rocky's high watermark for Iowa. Due to it being a caucus system, wherein people get together in a high school gym or an auditorium or someone's home in some cases, and people kind of split into groups for which candidate they're going to support. They count the numbers, and anyone below 15% has to join another caucus. And Rocky didn't have the boots on the ground to be able to accomplish anything there. So in the end, Rocky didn't get any delegates, gained no momentum. But, lucky for Rocky, while Iowa's not super kind to lesser-known candidates, New Hampshire is kind of like the prom for lesser-known candidates.
Aww.
New Hampshire doesn't give a fuck. It is one of the easiest states to get on the ballot. It's not uncommon to see 20-plus candidates on the ballot, even if there's only like 2 or 3 people running for president that year. And in 2016, it was no different, as 28 candidates filled the New Hampshire Democratic primary ballot. If Rocky had any chance of showing his ability to actually win, it would be here.
There were 26?
28.
28
Yeah.
Democratic
Yes.
contestants in New Hampshire.
Yes.
What?
Because anyone can get on that ballot. It's a tiny state. You can go house to house and like ballot and campaign all you want.
God,
New Hampshire's
up there.
Incredibly weird. It's one of the only states where someone has won the state while not running for president and as a write-in candidate.
Who was it?
It was Henry Cabot Lodge. Had no plan to run for president. Now out of nowhere he wins, and he's like, well, I guess I'm at least walking for president.
What an asshole.
I know. It's
bad enough that you're such old money.
I know. And he was like, oh, just, I earned this. This is mine. Thank you, poor people.
Wow. Yeah, I don't come from New England. Well, I have an aunt and uncle in Massachusetts now, but I don't come from New England.
Oh, no.
That's such a world.
No, I come from that Appalachia money where money is secrets. So, as expected, Rocky didn't poll well enough to make it onto the debate stage with Clinton and Sanders. But he'd be able to take part in one of the greatest things that happens every 4 years, the St. Anselm College Lesser-Known Candidates Forum. The forum has been run since 1972 and is often the largest opportunity for folks who have never made the debate stage to have their positions heard. It's both Democrats and Republicans. They shove them all on a stage in this tiny liberal arts college and just have them talk.
My jaw is on the floor right now because I have... One, how was this never a Veep episode?
I know, right?
Two, again, I'm the headspace. You are at a forum for lesser known candidates, and you're still there thinking like, I'm taking it all.
Dozens are there, and C-SPAN shows it every year. It's just so genuinely beautiful.
To lack the self-awareness of thinking like, you know what? Maybe my being invited to the lesser known candidate forum.
Look, if you could turn it around, it's New Hampshire. You know, tens of people watch C-SPAN, and there's at least 50 people in that audience before the fire chief has to get involved. So, yeah, I mean, if Rocky was going to have his chance, you know, he had 5 to 10 minutes to just wow this audience of New Hampshire's.
And?
So, to give an example of Rocky's debate abilities, let's just read a transcript of his answer as to how he would address illegal immigration. First of all, you need to understand the bigger issue. The Mexican border, American border, it's 1,954 miles long. That's the year I was born. Just get out that numerology. It means something. This were an episode of Ghost Hunters, we'd already be getting like the beeps on the machine. It'd be great.
You have a math degree.
2 degrees. From a prestigious university.
All right.
3,344 kilometers long. If you took a look at that issue, the Canadian-U.S. border is twice as big. So what happens to Alaska? What happens to the Pacific coast? What happens to Florida? What happens to Atlantic coast? Are we going to put a wall 100%? Are we going to create the Chinese wall all over again? It didn't work in China. The Berlin Wall didn't work in Berlin. So we need to take a look at a logical thing that will work. The Chinese wall had a problem. I don't know if you've been to the Chinese wall. I've been. Well, guess what? You know what? How weak is the Chinese wall? As its weakest link. They were not able to put the wall in the middle of a river. If you put it in the river, it becomes a dam. So if you wanted to attack China, you just come by boat through the river. Thank you. So you're convinced, right?
What?
You're convinced with this plan? This plan to make a plan that's not wall?
I feel like we ended up with the 2016 election with damaged Rocky. I feel like that's like we ended
like if
up...
we got 28-year-old Rocky just showing up, it'd been like, you know, the second coming or the first coming of Reagan.
And again, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're told, yes, exactly. Yeah. Like, Berlin Wall didn't work. Yeah. China Wall didn't work. Yeah. Why are you still talking about the Chinese? Why? Oh, God. No, Rocky, turn around. Why are you talking about a dam?
I mean, he's not wrong. A wall in the water is a dam if it's built big enough. I mean, otherwise it's just rocks, you know, water. At the same debate, when asked how he would fix homelessness in America, his answer was simple. Make a town for them and give them all their own businesses to run. In his words, the cure to endemic homelessness was opportunity and freedom. When asked how he would address people who were homeless and suffered from substance addiction, he said, well, that becomes a different issue. That was all.
I answered the question that you asked.
Yeah.
You don't get a follow-up question of heroin addiction.
Yeah. Nah, he Bidened that question. He's like, I'm out of time. I'm done. I'm telling you about Homelessburg. There are no detox facilities in Homelessburg. We only have so much money.
But 20 barbershops.
20 barbershops. There's a Perkins. There's at least a La Quinta. Yeah. You know, I might be wrong about this, but this also sounds a whole lot like President Trump's plan to fix homelessness, at least in Los Angeles.
He had one?
I feel like he pitched this as a solution at one point, to just make homeless town. Now, how the New Hampshire primary went for Rocky depends on who you believe. Which is always a great sentence.
Me or your lying eyes?
Look, if you're asking the FDIC, don't trust those motherfuckers. He actually, this is one thing I left out and meant to put back in. He did refer to the FDIC as a Gestapo unit.
Oh, great. Yep.
That's always great. So yeah, it all depends on who you believe. If you believe the New Hampshire Secretary of State, Rocky finished with a grand total of 96 votes, which was good enough for him to finish 8th.
8th out of 28?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For New Hampshire, that's real solid. But what Rocky says happened can best be summed up in an interview he did with Huffington Post contributor Judy Frankel. On my Facebook page, there's a video about 9 minutes long that talks about our democracy. And in there, it'll show you that in New Hampshire, at 40% of precincts reporting, I was coming in third with 851 votes. With 851 votes, I was beating O'Malley 3-1. Then at 50% of the precincts counted, I went from 851 votes to 54. I lost close to 800 votes at a time when I should have had at least 20% increment. I should have been close to 1,200. I went from 1,200 to 54. If you follow that number to its conclusion, if at 50% I had 1,200, I should have finished New Hampshire with approximately 2,400 votes. I ended up New Hampshire with only 95 votes. The votes that were stolen in New Hampshire are purely mathematical. It's from 2,400 to 95, so I got 2,305 votes stolen. That would have given me momentum. That would put me at a solid 3rd place. That would put me 4 times higher than O'Malley, which I will say again, was out of the race by then. I would have gotten more votes than every single one that was in the race, with the exception of the 2 top frontrunners on both Republicans and Democrats. From there on, I would have defeated every single Democrat. I would have beaten 25 Democrats. So what Rocky had seen is something that happens a lot whenever you're looking at, say, Politico or the New York Times polling thing, where an intern fucks up.
Oh, I just assumed it was people being too polite to tell him to his face that they were absolutely not going to vote for him.
I've been keeping a tally. I don't know if you know about this. I minored in accounting. I majored in math. Don't talk to me about banks.
Listen, between that quote and his numerology fetish, this is a man who needs a yarn board. This election gave him that ability.
Yeah, this was, I mean, if you are living your life with a mental yarn board, politics is really the best way to go.
Yeah.
You're going to fill that up. You're going to be able to write off yarn as campaign contributions. Yeah. It's going to be great.
These are the people, these are the 2,400 people who disappointed you.
Yeah.
And it's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, too, is 2,400...
So are your numbers.
Exactly. And well, and the thing is, 2,400 votes would not have gotten him a single delegate in New Hampshire. He wouldn't have gotten anything out of it, even if he did get 2,400 and finished in 3rd. Typically, the top-ranking, lesser-known candidate, that's usually the last race they ever run.
Is it New Hampshire?
Yeah, for some, it's kind of just a yearly tradition.
Aww.
That they just go up there, they kind of make their case, they say their thing, they hang out with other friends.
That's kind of sweet. I love that idea.
I know, that's why I love about it so much. And then you get the hardcore lunatics, like New Hampshire just released the list a couple weeks ago, and you got everyone from Vermin Supreme, who's probably one of my favorite people. We'll talk about him at some time. He's one of the best humans in the world. And on the other hand, you have this guy named Lorenz Klaus, which with a name like that, I know it's going to surprise you, is a neo-Nazi. So it runs the gamut. You get sweet school teachers and crazy Nazis, and everyone in between. So whether or not a 3rd place finish would have helped Rocky, we'll never know. While he did secure ballot status in 32 states, territories, and the Democrats abroad ballot, which is genuinely incredible. Most lesser-known candidates, like I said, usually are either just in New Hampshire or they might get on 5 or 10 other ballots. Rocky would only finish with more than 1% of the vote in 2 places. He got 1.09% in Delaware, and he got nearly 6% of the vote in American Samoa.
Huh.
Well, that's also a nice way of saying he got 14 votes in American Samoa.
So he had like campaign money in Samoa?
I mean, he at least got on the ballot in Samoa. And there were 14 people who were like, I don't like Hillary, I don't like Bernie. Fuck it.
All right.
Even in his home state of California, Roque was only able to place 5th out of 7, winning 8,453 votes and losing to Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Chicago businessman and frequent mayoral candidate Willie Wilson. And he's going to be a very fun topic one day. And a Florida attorney by the name of Michael Steinberg. And by the end of the primaries, Roque netted over 67,000 votes, or 0.22% of every vote that had been cast across the primaries. But this was good enough for him to finish the entire primaries in 3rd place.
Oh, he got a bronze.
This hadn't been the race that Roque had hoped. Dismayed by what he viewed as rampant voter fraud and roadblocks by the Democratic Party, he did what anyone else would do. And 6 days later, he filed to run for Senate as the Florida Democratic Party nominee against Marco Rubio. That's right. He walked it off and he went down to Florida, paid the $10,000 fee to run, and he was on the primary ballot.
$10,000?
$10,000 in your on.
Isn't he from California?
Yeah. I don't know why you see this as a problem.
I don't know why. Oh, I have... All right. Okay. Let's back up here.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh my God. Roque. Okay, first of all, I get it. You don't want this to be Rocky 1.
No.
You want this to be Rocky 2.
Yeah, you want this to be Rocky 2. You want to go out there and you want to punch Marco Rubio until he falls down.
I think
we can
we're all
relate.
There with you, Roque.
It's a dream we've all had at one point.
But okay, and then first of all, second of all, the buy-in to be a candidate for is it the buy-in to be a Republican candidate?
To be a Democrat candidate. It's the same. It's the same for either party, either major party in each state. It varies for third-party candidates, state to state. But if I remember right, for Florida, it's either just you pay $10,000 and you're on the ballot, or you get the signatures and you're on the ballot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But for him, it was like 6 days.
$10,000.
It was like right up to the filing deadline. $10,000. Let's fucking do this.
Okay.
I got 4 buses. They gotta go somewhere. Dave Barry lives here. I'll give him another shirt.
Dave Barry lives here.
I mean, if that was the thinking, it's not the worst thought.
Who says Rocky has to live there?
But once again, Rocky found himself in a very difficult and contentious primary. Congressman Patrick Murphy and Alan Grayson had both thrown their hats into the ring and kick-started an often contentious set of campaigns. Congressman Murphy is one of the more left of center, with the occasional right-leaning vote. And former Congressman Grayson was notorious for being an ultra-left progressive with a mean streak and alleged history of beating his wife.
Oh God!
Yeah, if I could describe Alan Grayson to you, he looks like a gym teacher who also owns a record shop.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got like that. He's got gym teacher face and like record shop opinions that he just wants to tell every woman who comes in and every second woman he will allegedly hit.
Oh my God. This is the worst type of remake of that Nicholas Sparks book.
Which one?
The one with I was going to say the one with John Cusack, but that's all of them.
Oh, High Fidelity.
Yes.
Wait, Nicholas Sparks wrote that?
Didn't he?
I hope not. No, it's Nicholas Hornsby.
Oh.
I would love to see Nicholas Sparks' version of High Fidelity.
Oh my God. All right.
Sorry,
edit this out.
I'm sorry, all these records have cancer. But I love them. I love you, original printing of The Cure.
Wow. So, gym teacher, record player.
Versus relatively centrist current congressman. To make things even more complicated, attorney Pam Keith, who'd made some waves setting herself as a solid third choice, had also entered the race. Once again, Rocky had to set himself apart. But he also needed to portray himself as a local Floridian, despite the fact that, as he said, he ain't from there.
Okay.
So, he's got to buy an alligator. He's got to move to Miami.
Get some really bad prison tattoos.
Ooh,
quick.
Yeah. Just get like one of those. One of those face tattoos that's just like gibberish.
Try bath salts.
Yeah. Just no fear written across his knuckles.
Stay gold.
These are Florida things, right? Just a lifetime pass to Disney World, but also a lifetime ban. So Rocky started this by shifting his platform focus on turning Florida into a beacon for natural energy, focusing on immigration reform, and supporting more comprehensive gun restrictions. So kind of being a Democrat.
Okay.
He'd also edited his plan on homelessness and instead proposed diverting funds from military interventions and using them to create more social equity for the homeless and the downtrodden.
Okay.
Again, not a bad idea. Much better than Homelessburg.
I can't wait to be disappointed again in a second.
No, it's all good from here on
All
out.
right.
But the topic he was most vociferous on was election reform. You fuck with Rocky too many times in an election, whether you did or not. He's going to want to reform that election. And now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of barriers that make it really, really hard to succeed in politics if you come from nothing or if you're, just entering the fray or if you're a third-party candidate. But Rocky had taken all the things he felt were done wrong to him and focused like a laser on removing those barriers to political office, such as signature petitioning and poll thresholds for debates.
Oh, Rocky.
Once again, Rocky wasn't able to gain the nomination. Rep. Patrick Murphy cruised to an easy win with 58% of the vote. But this time around, Rocky performed pretty damn well. He came a solid fourth and got 5.4% of the vote, only 7,000 short of all the votes he got during the presidential primary.
Okay.
Yeah. Despite him losing, it was probably for the best, though, because 3 weeks earlier, the Reform Party officially nominated Rocky for president.
No!
Yep.
No!
Yep.
Why?
Because the Reform Party had to pick someone. And Ross Perot's dead.
No. Now he's an unflushable turd.
The best kind, He just wanted to hang out there so you could always be like, oh yeah, I remember you. While the Reform Party acknowledged that Rocky was a bit more of a risk, seeing as he'd never been a party member, Party Secretary Nicholas Hensley assured the party that Rocky agreed on about 90% of the party platform. Which, pretty good. No one's ever going to be 100%, 90's pretty solid. Hensley also noted that compared to other political candidates, Rocky had, quote-unquote, deeper pockets, better fundraising abilities, more exposure, a campaign staff, and was able to assemble over 20 ballot lines. That's right, even before winning the Reform Party nomination, Rocky was already on the ballot in 20 states for president. And that was because, even before the Reform Party came a-callin', he went and founded his own party. The American Delta Party.
What? Wait, Rocky founded the American Delta Party?
Yep. When Rocky Delta Party loses, he forms his own party.
This motherfucker.
The funny thing is, Rocky didn't win the nomination of his own party until a month after he became the figurehead of the Reform Party.
Shut up. Even his own American Delta Party were like, I don't know.
I don't think there were other members other than his family. I don't know.
And the family was like, I don't know.
But the crazier fucking thing is that month later, the ADP would have a national convention on September 1st in Chester Springs, Pennsylvania, a place where I have no idea why he chose it, before Rocky would officially be running. He nominated attorney Michael Steinberg of Florida, the very same Michael Steinberg that had beat him in California in the primaries.
Keep your enemies close.
Look, if a man beats you by 200 votes, you make that man your subordinate. Now, there isn't much to glean about the party itself since the website has been down since at least 2018, but it's pretty safe to say everything we already know about Rocky's probably what the party supported. By the final deadline for ballot status, Rocky had qualified in 20 states and was a qualified write-in candidate in 9 more. Now, write-in candidacy is really weird. I'm going to take a small tangent on this. So, you can't just write in anyone's name and have it counted as a write-in candidate. You have to apply to be a write-in candidate for that to be counted. It's a lower threshold. It's easier to get. Any other write-in that you do is thrown out.
Right.
Not even counted.
Right, because otherwise people are just going to put it in their cat name.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm convinced that all the people are like, 1,000 people vote for Mickey Mouse every year. I think that's like, every year you eat a spider. It's just some bullshit some idiot made up to sound cool at a bar for everyone to go like, all right. Sure. Sounds great.
I love those bars.
I mean, that bar is the best. The boring trivia dad bar. It's really great. So, realistically, since writing candidates for president, while plentiful, never really amount to much of a full-on victory, Roque was really only eligible for about 147 electoral votes. His chances of winning were statistically impossible. Or were they?
God damn it.
On October 28th, about a week before the election, give or take, Roque spoke to a...
Pause. Was October... So in terms of James Comey fucking the election...
Yes.
Where are we?
Probably day of.
Okay.
I honestly can't remember when James did that. I think it's funnier if it's day of, though. Yeah. So we'll do a small
conspiracy theorists. You have your next mission.
See, James Comey just wanted Roque de la Fuente to lose, man. That's why he did that shit. So yeah, 8 days before the election, Roque spoke to a spattering of reporters at the Montana State Capitol, including Helena Civic Television, which is kind of like the public access of the place. When I say a spattering, it's like 6 people counting cameramen.
Amazing.
He had brought with him a presentation that he dubbed the Roque strategy.
Oh no.
He openly admitted that the traditional way of winning was impossible for him. But there was still a constitutional option that had not occurred since the 1824 election. Oh, man.
Alright,
I have a new unexpected favorite reaction.
So angry for so many reasons. Go on.
You see, if a presidential candidate does not win the majority of electoral votes, then the top 3 candidates to receive electoral votes move on to a contingent election held by the House of Representatives. All previous voting is ignored, and Congresspeople vote as blocks of their own states. So...
This was a Veep episode?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Great.
Yes, you totally get it. You've seen season 6 of Veep?
Yes.
5 or 6?
7?
Yeah.
One of those,
I feel like 10% of this show is just going to be Veep references, and I'm
it
totally
will
fine
for me.
with that. So for those who haven't seen Veep, essentially every congressperson from New Jersey acts as one vote. They all vote together, and then New Jersey gets one vote, and Maryland gets one vote. So all the states get together and vote for who's going to be president. Whoever wins the majority of the state delegations made up by the Congress becomes president. Yeah, which can make for some fun shit.
Amazing.
So the Roque strategy was an attempt to do just that. Roque would encourage all the other third-party candidates to come together and agree to only focus on a few assigned states in the Rocky Mountain region to ensure that Clinton and Trump would not get a majority of electoral votes. And weirdly enough, the basic idea of the plan was a lot more possible than Roque actually winning by electoral votes in the popular vote.
But just like Rocky 1, he didn't account for the strength of the Russians.
That's Rocky 4.
Okay.
Excellent joke.
It's so close.
Didn't quite get the landing, but really good joke.
I'm almost there.
It's like, everyone remembers Kerry Strug. No one remembers Dominique Moceanu, flubbing those 2 jumps beforehand that looked great before, and then bam, right on the ground.
Editing's a mystery.
It really is. I will never learn it. At the time, there was a dude named Evan McMullen, who was a former CIA operations officer, and he'd begun a more centrist, anti-Trump conservative run. He was polling really well in his home state of Utah. The funny thing about Utah... Utahns, for the most part, do not fucking like Trump. And the only reason Trump won Utah is they really don't like Hillary. And so Evan McMullen was presenting himself as I'm a Mormon, I'm conservative, I'm an option to save your conscience on this. Yeah. So if you want, vote for me. An Emerson poll taken 3 weeks before the election had McMullen in the lead with 31% of the vote. And if he'd have won... Neither of the candidates would have had enough electoral votes based on weird obsessive polling I was doing at the time.
Oh my god.
During the same speech, Roque also kind of takes a divergent path for a little bit.
You don't say.
I know, right? To talk about how there's 22 presidential candidates on the Colorado ballot, and he refers to it as a disgrace, which I find really funny for a man who's so into election reform and wanting to get onto the ballot easier. So in the halls in the Montana State House, Roque made his case that, for the sake of the nation, he should work to win Montana, Nevada, and Alaska. He would then encourage Evan McMullen in Utah, He would encourage the Libertarian nominee, Governor Gary Johnson, to work hardest in New Mexico and Arizona. The Green Party nominee, Jill Stein, to work hardest in Colorado and North Dakota. North Dakota being a real fucking funny one. I have no clue what made him think that the Green Party would do well. Yeah, but New Mexico is Gary Johnson's home state, so...
Oh, so never, okay.
Yeah, Colorado would make
turquoise.
sense. But, yeah. Oh my god. And the Constitution Party nominee, Darrell Castle, would go for Idaho. Now, Rocky didn't believe that every candidate would have the ability to win these states. But even with that, there's still a few issues with his plan, even if it worked out perfectly. One, if Gary Johnson won New Mexico and Arizona, he'd be the one who would come in third. Two, the Constitution Party in Idaho has kind of had a long-running feud with the National Constitution Party and had refused to agree to have Darrell Castle as their nominee that year and had nominated Pastor Scott Copeland instead. And Castle was still on the ballot, just as an independent. Also, Rocky's plan would rely upon every major third-party candidate to work their butts off just to make sure they don't win and Rocky would.
How is this man so bad at math?
I don't know. I mean, it's the thing that drives me nuts because it's like the most feasible plan. It's an actual plan that, like, if you knew a way that you could get the Green Party, a relatively left-leaning environmentalist party, to get along with the Constitution Party, a party so right-wing that they recently had a split this year because one part of the party didn't think they were religious enough. There's no reason those two parties would ever get along to work to have neither of them win.
Yeah, no.
But most importantly, the plan relied on Rocky's anticipated support in not just one state, but three. Rocky's confidence in his idea had a bit of a wavering scale throughout his speech. On one hand, he was 100% all three would go all in, just for the sake of being able to say they saved the nation and they did the right thing. All the way to the other end of the scale, where he said, yeah, we might as well call this my Hail Mary plan. Which is one of the things I really love about Roque de la Fuente, is he does have that bombast, and he does have that, that ultra confidence, but there's always that voice in the back of his head that's just like, look, you know this isn't probably going to work. Let's ground this a little bit. Probably shouldn't tell the reporters, but you know what, let's just do that anyway.
Oh my god.
And in the end, as we all know, the Rocky strategy didn't work. Evan McMullen finished third in Utah, as did Gary Johnson in New Mexico, and Rocky finished 8th overall in the popular vote. Despite being on the ballot in so many states, he was only able to manage 33,000 votes, or 0.02% of the national vote. After a year of campaigning, Rocky had spent $7.8 million of his own money. According to financial statements filed with the FEC, Rocky had spent $3.1 million on fundraising. His fundraising haul was a little over $17,000.
Oh my god.
So to make that sound even crazier, he spent $184 to make $1.
Oh my god.
It had been
this is why he broke a bank.
Look, if he just had a bank that he could have taken some loans out on, and another city that just did some dumb shit, he could have won. It had been an expensive campaign, and Rocky'd come face to face with the overly difficult hurdles that face candidates that haven't gained the blessing of the upper echelon of the major parties. So Rocky took a much-deserved break. No, he didn't. He ran for mayor of New York.
No! He doesn't live there either!
That's right, motherfucker!
And how have I still not heard of this man? What?
Yeah, and I know what you're thinking. It's what you just said. Doesn't Rocky live in San Diego and not New York City? Well, take that complaint and shove it square up your ass, Una. Rocky doesn't give a shit. He looks San Diego square in the fucking face and got $121 million. Do you think he's scared of where he lives being a factor?
At this point, I am genuinely worried I'm going to see him pop up as a name for a judgeship in Chicago.
I mean, yeah, no one ever looks at those ballots.
No one! No one!
And the thing is, the New York Times had actually brought that up as being a potential problem.
Yeah, because New Yorkers get kind of feisty about that.
Rocky absolutely didn't take this kind of hostile tone about his sudden run very well.
Oh, no.
Rocky's campaign manager, yeah, he had one, a dude named Ray Olson, told the paper that Rocky wants to be president of the United States. And New York City mayor is arguably the next best job in politics. And yes, Rocky wasn't a resident of New York City. But the rules say you only have to be a resident of New York City before the election day to run for mayor of the city. Olson stated that Rocky had attempted to gain residency at the Sherry Netherland Hotel and Apartment building.
Oh, Jesus.
But his application had been rejected by management, allegedly due to Rocky being Hispanic. Rocky did end up suing the Sherry Netherland, listing a series of dickish racist actions that the hotel had performed to him before his application to live at the hotel. But the court dismissed the charges. And eventually he did find a nice midtown apartment to make his campaign home. Also, I'm willing to believe that like a hoity-toity uptown Manhattan hotel would probably do some really shitty things
100%.
to a man of color with new money.
100%.
So I'm thoroughly willing to believe Rocky on this one.
But also, there are so many buildings that are pretty much dark.
Yeah.
Because they're just pied-a-terres for the rich who live abroad.
Yep.
You can't buy an apartment in that. You can't get a studio and just call that your residence.
I know, right? But
you gotta live in a hotel.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he wants to live there and campaign and actually, you know, be boots on the ground, not, you know, just shack up in a studio in the Bronx and hope for the best.
Make him more of a man of the people.
I mean, it would. He'd probably get pretty good.
His campaign manager should have been on this.
I'm a little disappointed he didn't. Mm-hmm. That would have probably been a really good move. And I mean, the fact of the matter is too, when you hear him talking, when he's not giving when he's not you know, answering reporters, he's a charming dude. He does have that like charming older dude charisma from time to time.
Ooh, a little bit of a zaddy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that silver fox thing going a little bit. Okay. I'll show you a picture of him later.
All right.
It'll be fun. I probably should have started with that, but we'll do that later. That'll be
Listeners
a later
can't
thing.
see it. They just know that they need to be.
Look, podcasting's a visual medium. We all know this.
All right.
Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention. Rocky's not a Democrat anymore.
Oh, because he's part of the Reform Party?
Well, no, he's not in the Reform Party anymore either.
American Delta Party?
No, that's gone.
Oh.
Rocky's a Republican now. But, yeah, it's not like, you know, he's a Trump Republican right now. He's a Reagan Republican.
Right.
He's a Kennedy Republican.
Oh, my God. Teddy is rolling in his grave.
So much like his presidential campaign, Rocky placed homelessness at his top priority as mayor, along with affordable housing. The main difference this time around is that Rocky, at least according to his own polls, was performing very well. Rocky even received $600,000 in campaign finance loans from the New York City Campaign Finance Board and got more than enough signatures to make it onto the Republican primary ballot. To make things all the more exciting, 3 of the 4 other GOP candidates had dropped out of the primary. A fellow named Paul Massey dropped out due to money concerns. Michael Faulkner chose to run for comptroller instead. And Bo Dietl, who's mostly known as...
Bo Dietl,
who is a cop person, mostly known for like being asked questions about 9/11 on The Daily Show and giving very sweary answers and also having some very sweary conservative opinions, screamed to avoid a pure rage and decided to run as an independent instead. So the primary would be between Rocky and one other candidate. For a dude not even from New York City, Rocky was positioning himself far better than he ever had before.
3rd time's a charm.
I mean, that is at least to consider who he's running against.
Oh, no.
State Assemblywoman Nicole Maliotakis. Now, to call Nicole a party rock star would be putting it pretty lightly. She is the only Republican woman elected in New York City, the first Hispanic American to win elected office in Staten Island, and is of the first 2 Greek American women elected to office in the whole state.
She's got my vote.
Yeah. Maliotakis was hands down the most qualified and heralded local Republican who could have possibly run. It was a real David and Goliath match, especially since David was some guy from out of town, and Goliath was about the most qualified person for the job.
Jesus Christ.
You know, a super Goliath.
But a woman!
Yeah. But you see, this Goliath knew how to defeat David before the fight even started. By paperwork.
Be still my heart.
A pair of Maliataki's supporters filed a complaint with the City Board of Electors and stated that they believed hundreds of De La Fuente's petition signatures were forged. After reviewing the signatures, the BOE agreed and found that Roque was 336 signatures short. He was kicked off the ballot, and Nicole Maliatakis won an uncontested primary, to then lose to one of the most disliked mayors in New York City history. You know, loss does some really strange things to people. It could shut some down. Others channel it and use it to allow them to evolve and change. Roque, on the other hand, does something entirely different with losing. Each loss only seems to make him stronger, more determined, more willing to do the things that no one else would. And in 2018, he ran my absolute favorite campaign ever and accomplished one of the most amazing things ever in modern politics. It began simply. 2018 was a midterm year. Roque filed to run for Senate in California. It wasn't much of a shock now that Roque was making politics a full-time thing. Many candidates tend to end up on the governor and senator ballots in California, a lot like New Hampshire. A lot of people apply to run for those positions. Also because California is a top 2 blanket primary where the top 2 vote getters, no matter what party they're in, end up moving on to the next round. So a lot of people go in because they kind of have a much better shot than usual. And once again, he remained a Republican. Another thing that kind of gives him a bit of a boost since there's not that many Republicans running in California. Mm-hmm. But then Roque also filed to run again in Florida.
What?
For Senate.
No.
Which, yeah, that's very atypical, but, you know, it makes sense. He did it before. He's a gutsy guy. Why not do it again?
Is it legal?
But then he filed in Delaware.
No!
And Hawaii.
No!
And Minnesota.
Roque!
And Rhode Island.
Stop!
And Vermont.
No!
Why not Washington?
Oh, God!
Wyoming's cool, too. In 1 year, Roque would run for the Republican Senate primaries in 9 states. Something no one else has ever done before. So why in the 80 fucks would Roque do this? I mean, on one hand, many of those states didn't have a strong Republican presence and not many candidates, so like in Delaware and Vermont. On the other, if you could do it, why not? Why limit yourself to one race every year when you either own property in every state or know how to screw with the ballot requirements just enough to become a candidate?
Why put all your money on green when you can just put a chip on every number?
And then you always win. It's the Roque way. As for his actual reasoning of why he did this, well, I mean, it varies. In a self-published Medium article, where all the best things come from...
Stop it!
Roque stated that he was running in so many places to show how ridiculous it was that he could, technically, be on the ballot in all 33 states up for election that year.
Oh, because he's still about election reform.
Yep. If he wanted, quote... I mean, think about it. I am running for U.S. Senate, at the time this was written, in 5 states right now. But technically, I could be on the ballot in 33 states simultaneously. It's Looney Tunes.
It's Looney Tunes, Roque. Why don't you also get onto, like, the parliamentary elections in England while you're at it?
I mean, look, he's being really
Mexico
lazy by not
probably
doing that.
needs you.
Yeah. When asked why he chose the states he had chosen at that point, he said, 1, California. My 5 children and I were born in California, and I do business in more than 20 cities across the state. Reasonable. 2, Florida. I've owned property and businesses in Florida for more than 20 years, and have been paying taxes ever since. You know, humble brag. 3, Minnesota. Minneapolis-based renewable energy company, which I'm pretty sure is that company that he got a huge loan for.
Uh-huh.
4, Washington. Commercial fishing enterprise based in Seattle. That's all he said. And my favorite 5, Wyoming. Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Do I need to say more? Love to ski.
I mean, that could have been all of them. It could have just been like, Delaware. Most of my tax shelters are there. Minnesota. I fucking love Prince.
Yeah. Look, who doesn't love
Seattle.
a little purple rain?
I buy from Amazon.
Look, we all get sad sometimes when it rains. Why not run in Washington? I know how it feels. He then used the ridiculousness of how easy it was for him to get on so many ballots to state that it should be made easier to run for president by only requiring 200 to 1,000 signatures and $205,000 per state based on population. However, when he was interviewed by Vice 4 months later, his primary goals seemed to have changed. While speaking in a Cuban restaurant in Florida, De La Fuente said, "Basically, I don't expect to win any of the races. I just want to do it so people know who I am." Which is a strategy absolutely worked. Roque went from obscure presidential candidate to being interviewed by NBC News and gaining national notoriety for his exploits.
This man is the Kim Kardashian of political interest.
Yeah.
I fucking can't with him.
Oh, I can always. Anything this man wants to do, I'm in. I'm set. He also spent quite a lot less in this race than he did in 2016. In the Vice video, he stated that the only money he spent in Florida was for the entry fee to get into the race. Now, that's not counting any travel expenses or paying his team, but it was clear that each of his 9 races were done in the most bare bones of fashions. For the Wyoming primary debate, he didn't even show up. He barely showed up to any of the debates. He just got his name on the ballot, did a monochrome of just, glad-handing and showing up, and that was it. He didn't even have a specific website for each of the states. It was just his Rocky101.com website.
Oh, Jesus.
And that was it. As Roque had predicted, he didn't win a single state. Jim Camden of The Columbian described Roque the biggest loser of the primaries. Roque only finished not in last in 4 of the 9 states. His best showing being 9th in California, where he finished 9th out of 35. But when it came to percentage of the state, he scored 9.4% in Hawaii in an 8-candidate primary. Got 11.4% in a 2-way race against Rick Scott in Florida, and 12.3% in Rhode Island in a 2-way race against former State Associate Justice Robert Flanders. But most importantly, Rocky's vote total in the 9 states combined went above 360,000 votes. While he didn't win, it'd be hard to view his races as anything other than a success when his main goal was just to get notoriety. He'd barely spent anything and got 360,000 people to not only know his name, but to vote for him.
I don't know. Oh, God. All right.
Which brings us to May 16th, 2019.
No.
When Roque de la Fuente officially declared himself as a candidate for the Republican nomination for President of the United States. His platform has expanded and evolved since those sweet summer days of 2016. He's against mandatory minimum sentencing for nonviolent offenders. He still supports the need for more alternative fuels and pitches the idea of a biofuel pipeline. Supports basic gun regulation, does not support repealing the ACA but wants to amend it. And supports a clear path to citizenship for immigrants, but doesn't offer much more than that for a solution. Roque is also joined this time around by his 2 sons. Ricardo, who is running for Congress in California and Texas, and Roque de la Fuente III, who's running for president as a Democrat.
No!
And he's on the ballot in New Hampshire just like his dad.
Oh, God.
If
Is
the
that
past
a sweet 16 birthday present?
he's at least in his 30s.
Oh.
If the past is any indication, Rocky's odds of being the GOP primary spoiler are pretty minimal. Donald Trump holds an approval rating in his party that lives between 85 and 95% depending on the day. The second most prominent primary challenger, Governor and 2016 Libertarian VP nominee Bill Weld, has yet to catch fire as a legit second option for never-Trumpers, let alone the rest of the party. There are 3 things Roque has that just might aid his 2020 Hail Mary plan. A real knack for gaining ballot access against all odds. A war chest of cash that dwarfs Bill Weld's by 6 times as much.
Good Lord.
He's currently put around $25 million into the race based on his last filings. And third, he's already made it onto the primary ballot in 13 states, which is just as much as Bill Weld, and 3 more than Trump's other serious challenger, former Congressman Joe Walsh. The best part of the Roque de la Fuente story, at least for me, is that even when he loses the GOP nomination, you bet your ass he's going to be on the ballot in 2020, at least with someone else. And that's the story of my best boy, Roque de la Fuente.
Oh my God. The story of politics as a billionaire's card game.
It is, not gonna lie, if I had $121 million that I got from a city just fucking up in the most egregious way possible, yeah, fuck it, I'll run for president everywhere.
I totally understand why anyone would start to get into the nitty-gritty of these people, because it's a writer's wealth. It's just these people, and Roque de la Fuente is why are you still running? Why, it's like the guy who has bagged enough lions that now he needs to hunt man.
Yeah. Yep.
That is like, and he will not be it's like the one thing he can't have.
But the huge difference though is like when you're hunting lions, they'll put meat behind the van and lure a lion out. Humans move. It's a lot harder to shoot humans. Not from experience, just assumptions.
Saying.
I'm just saying that the human knows they're being hunted. They're gonna serpentine.
Yeah.
But he's gotten more votes each time he's run. He's getting a little better each time.
I know, but until this, I had never heard of the guy.
Yeah.
And now I'm worried that I'm going to hear him everywhere.
I mean, that's actually kind of why I wanted to get this one out so soon, is I feel like in March, when he's the only candidate left and he's getting like 10% of the vote in Delaware, people are going to start talking about Rocky and being like, is Rocky going to do it? And Trump will give him a really shitty nickname. It'll be really awful.
Oh, God, I can't even... Yeah.
But, I mean, I gotta respect the guy. He's not, blue-collar robbing banks anymore. He's just... he's out here, he's reformed. He's living his best life. He's pitching Democrat ideas while running for Republican nominations.
He is very honestly losing his inheritance.
Yeah, but slowly. And I think his kids realize, I gotta run for political office if I'm gonna get anything in the will. Yeah. Like, I gotta impress Dad.
Oh my God, yes!
Yeah.
Yes, and then the kids grow up, and it's like, the only way Dad's gonna see me and love me is if I get third place in New Hampshire.
I gotta be like the mayor pro tem in Waterbury, Connecticut. I gotta do this.
Oh, still not as sad as Donald Trump Jr., but it's up there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't not love Rocky. Oh yeah, and I gotta show you a picture of the guy. This is him where he's like, I'm giving it a go. I've run car dealerships my whole life.
He definitely has.
I know exactly where to get the best suits. I look awesome with a red tie. I know how long it's supposed to be. Yeah. But yeah, that's the story of Roque de la Fuente. Thank y'all for joining us in this
Mazel.
First go around. And I can't wait for y'all to join next week, where we talk about one of my favorite governor races in the history of America.
Oh, amazing! I can't wait.
Gadfly is a production of Added Serotonin.